Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're gonna have a look at the TWSBI Eco. I bought this pen a couple years ago and I don't have the original packaging, but I still have the included TWSBI wrench and a small packaging of silicone grease, and these are really necessary to service the pen. Let's have a look at the pen itself. I have the regular black version, and the pen has overall held up quite well over the years. It has a couple of scratches here and there, but nothing major. The cap has a hexagonal shape and a red TWSBI finial at the end. The red finial works quite well with the black plastic. However, I think it crashes a little bit with some of the other colors. The clip is pretty much rectangular and it's way too tight. There is also this bump near the cap ring, so when you are trying to clip the pen into something, you have to go down a little bit and then deal with the tight clip. So I consider this clip more of a roll stopper rather than a functional clip. The white cap ring has an engraving TWSBI on one side and then Eco China on the other. The barrel is straight and polished on outside and inside. This is TWSBI's signature feature, but I wish they made some other versions of the barrel, not just the clear plastic one, but I think smoke would look quite well as frosted plastic. Near the knob we can see the piston filling mechanism, one O-ring that holds the cap as you are posting the pen, and then the piston knob itself. There is no finial on the piston knob, only this injection molding mark. The entire pen is made out of injection molded plastic. You can see injection molding marks on the cap as well, so here and then on the other side here. And then these injection molding marks continue throughout the entire length of the cap, so on this edge right here. And then you can also see them on the body. So it's not super visible, but it's right there. The cap unscrews in one rotation, which is pretty much ideal. And then we see the stainless steel fine nib with a plastic feed. There is no nib unit, but the nib is just friction fit together with the feed. So once you get the nib in and out a couple of times, it's easy to get it in and out again with almost no effort. Unfortunately, TWSBI doesn't sell replacement nibs for the Eco, but you can still buy them on sites like TWSBI. The fully translucent section is 9 mm wide at the narrowest point and then tapers up to about 10.5 mm. It also has a little bit of flaring, but not around the entire diameter of the section. There are just 3 points where the section flares out. The shape is completely fine, I just wish it were a little bit wider. The threads for the cap are nicely machined. I don't have any issues with them being too sharp, and there is a little O-ring that helps with the cap sealing. The cap seals extremely well. In fact, it's so airtight that if you have the pen empty and then you try to extend the piston filling mechanism, the pressure inside the cap does not equalize very fast with the atmospheric pressure, so it will push the piston mechanism back, as you can see here. So the pressure keeps pushing the piston back. Such a well-sealing cap is quite uncommon, especially in this price category. Only Platinum and Sailor Tuzu do have cups that seal this well. The piston filling mechanism has one disadvantage, and that is that over time the piston seals will dry out and you will have to disassemble the pen and put silicone grease, which is included, on them again. It's not a complicated process. You just take the included wrench and then you turn clockwise to unscrew the piston mechanism, and then you can apply some silicone grease to the sealing mechanism as well as this shaft inside. And then when you are ready, you simply screw the piston mechanism back into the pen. The capacity of the piston filling mechanism is about 1.6 millimeters, so more than any converter, and it's not absurdly large, which I think is an advantage. Let's fill the pen now. The narrow section has at least one advantage, and that is that you can use diamine 30 milliliter bottles or any other bottles that have rather narrow openings. And yeah, so even diamine's 30 milliliter bottle works quite well with this pen. And with just a single fill, we have about, let's say, 1 milliliter of ink, so plenty enough. The clear plastic of the body is not as advantageous to seeing what ink do you have inside the pen, as most inks just look almost black. So this is diamine classic green, and inside the pen it looks practically like a black ink. 140 millimeters when capped and 21.5 grams uninked. It's a pretty standard size and a pretty standard weight. Here it is next to a Lamy Vista, a Pilot 912 and a Pelican M400. 131 millimeters uncapped and 12.5 grams. It's a solid size, even slightly taller than the Lamy Vista or the Pilot 912. It posts quite securely, but at 166 millimeters and being quite a bit back-weighted, I would say this is for emergency posting only. Let's have a look at how it writes. So the pen is the TWSBI Eco, the nib is fine, and the ink is diamine classic green. The nib is quite smooth with a little bit of feedback. I have tuned it to be a little bit wetter because all of the TWSBI nibs that I've had experience with were a little too dry for me. So now if I try to test the wetness, it's a little bit wet for a fine nib, which is ideal for me. It has no vertical horizontal line variation, and the line it makes is about 0.45 millimeters, which is fine. Skipping, no issues with skipping. Let's have a look at hard starts. Fine nibs don't tend to have any issues with hard starts, and this was my fault. Reverse. It's surprisingly smooth and the ink keeps flowing, so absolutely no issues with reverse, and you get a nice extra fine line. Flex. Yes, this is a very stiff nib, you get practically no noticeable line variation. Overall, no major issues with the nib, it's just a little bit boring, stiff, no horizontal vertical line variation, and out of the box it was a little bit dry for me. Ergonomically, this is fine, no issues with the threads or the piston knob bothering me. However, the section is a little bit too narrow and the posting makes the pen very back heavy and way too long. Overall, I quite like this pen, especially the small engineering details like the little O-ring that makes the cap seal really well. The piston mechanism works also quite well. You just have to re-grease it from time to time, and the super clear barrel is quite fun to look at, especially with some shimmering inks. What I don't enjoy as much is somewhat narrow section, somewhat small nib. I think even number 6 nib would work quite well here. And while we are on the topic of nibs, these are not fully compatible with Yovo 5 or Yovo 6, so you are stuck to very limited selection of replacement nibs or buying a completely new pen if you want to change the nib size. The pen could post a little bit better, but that's not bothering me too much as it's long enough. I would also like to see some different colors of the barrel, not just a ton of iterations of different colors of the piston knob and the cap. I think this pen is ideal as a first piston filler. You can see the piston mechanism, you have to take it apart, re-grease it, and it doesn't have any major issues. It's perfectly usable, even if it's not the best pen out there. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!